Hey guys, good morning. Rain here, and today we're going to talk about the third onboarding. Now, you may be here kind of watching third onboarding video because you want to kind of re-review what we've just talked about if you've had our third onboarding, or maybe you're waiting for your turn, and so you want to kind of have a advanced viewing on what you're going to get onto the third onboarding. I want to give you a heads up. I'm going to talk about today, it's gonna be the same topics, gonna same information that we're going to be talking about when we jump over to our onboarding. When I give you a heads up, the third onboarding is going to be focused on transactions and dispositions managers. We're going to focus on how their daily routine would be and what are the normal processes that they're going to use or what going to follow when they are in left main powered by Salesforce. So let's go ahead and start. Hey guys, so most likely when you are, let me move it over here. When you are a transactions manager, you're going to be working over technically three major objects, but mainly transactions object right here, followed by tasks and calendar. If you are a dispositions manager, on the other hand, you're going to be mainly working with transactions, tasks, calendar, interested buyers, accounts, and contacts. And both of these managers or both of the specialists most likely will be kind of going back and forth with opportunities as well. Why is that? I want to give everyone a heads up. Again, a quick recap, something we've talked about over to the second onboarding and onto the demo of how your lead or how the ecosystem of a lead will be living inside left main powered by Salesforce. As I always say, think about left main as a house with three major rooms, and each of them is connected to each other. The goal is for you to be able to welcome your guests or your leads from the first room to the second room to the third room. There is no shortcut. For the lead to be onto the third room, they need to pass through the first and the second room. Now, the first room will always be the lead's object room. Over here, this is where everybody who had raised their hand, who had initiated a sale, will be welcomed in. Either it's going to be via automation input or via manual input. Once your lead intake specialist has been able to talk with this owner, of course, the lead intake would be able to classify or been able to get the three major um, answers. That is for the questions. One, are you selling your home? Two, is this an area our team is looking to buy? And three, of course, is can we connect you with our property specialist, with our acquisition specialist, for you guys to hear an offer and for us to be able to, hopefully close the deal. If these three are being answered, then that's the time that the leads record will be altogether pushed over to the opportunity. And here, the lead intake manager will serve it to the acquisition specialist to kind of build their rapport and make the offer. And if by any chance the owner agreed with the acquisitions offer, that is the time that our acquisition specialist will update the opportunity record from being a pending appointment to a contract signed over here. Now, I want to give you a clarification over here. When a record from leads is pushed forward to opportunity, everything from the leads object room will be pushed over to the opportunity. You lose all the records about the property over to the leads. It's going to be over to the opportunities. But if the acquisition been able to set and have a contract over to an opportunity record, the opportunity record will still remain inside the opportunities object room, and transactions object room will create a transactions record which is linked over to that opportunity record. Why is that? The opportunity record will serve as your property database so that your disposition and your transactions manager can always just get back here and just get any information with regards to the property itself. Thus, will give them the opportunity to work over to their own record, transactions record, with fields that is supposed to be handled by their department, which happens to be transactions and dispositions department. So the transactions object room right here happens to be a sharing room between your dispositions and your transactions. Thus, it's also the third room in the house that we've just talked about. Okay. Now let's talk about your transactions manager's daily routine. Let's go ahead. If you're a transactions manager, most likely you're going to be working under, depending to maybe 3 to 5 to 6 object, depending on the business protocol, of course. Number one is of course transactions object. That's where technically you're going to live as a transactions manager. Number two is the tasks, followed by the calendar, a little bit of opportunity, and then again, depending on your business structure, you might be working under accounts and contacts as well. We're going to talk about that later. Okay, you normally start your day as a transactions manager in checking your tasks and also calendar, kind of side by side. Over to the task, you want to change the view from a recently viewed over to today's tasks. Why is that? Today's task will always show your account's daily tasks that are set for today or due for today, and tasks that have past due or tasks that needs to be done before but you weren't been able to do so. The goal is simple for you transactions manager, and that is to finish off the tasks before the day ends. That being said, of course, the reason why you do this in the morning, the first thing in the morning, is just to check if there are any tasks that you are supposed to do first half of the day. Okay. Now, moving forward, of course, you also have the calendar. You want to go over to the calendar because you want to check the closing calendar. It will be nice for you to kind of check, hey, do I have any closing for today? It's kind of nice to count your wins from time to time. Some investors does not go to their, most investors rather, does not go to their closings. For me, it's kind of nice to see, oh, I have two closing today. Kind of boost your morale. But then again, it depends on how you guys want to do it. It's just for a transactions manager's perspective, a good way to see your closing calendar, or um closing happenings or what have you. Moving forward, of course, as I said, those are the first things you want to do, but your main goal will be going to transaction subject. And from here, the first thing you want to do is to change the filter view. The filter view should always be active transactions, and you want to pin that. And then the magic begins here. You also want to change the display over to what we call the Kanban view. The Kanban view or Kanban display looks really nice and fancy. Definitely works with transactions alone. Why is that? Kanban view has a restrictions of only showing 200 records. That is why it is important that you only use the Kanban view display over to your transactions record. So again, this is exclusive to both dispositions and transactions managers. Moving forward, as you guys can see over to the top, there is a path. As you guys already been able to observe, we're big when it comes to path. We want to make sure that all the way from the left, we move it all the way to the right to consider our win. That is always our goal. That is why, depending on how you guys want to run your team, over here you have new contract. So most likely, a transactions manager want to just click, hold, and drag and drop them to whichever it's supposed to be under. On my end rather, I'm gonna go ahead and send it to the attorney. So I'm gonna drop it in here. But at the same time, I need to update what's inside of that record. So I can just simply click over to that record and it would direct me to the record fields and information. So there you go. As I always say, over here onto the top, this just reflects what you guys seen outside the bulk view. And then down here, this is where everything about our job as transactions manager will be kind of focusing on. Now, if there are fields or relabeling you guys want to do, that's something that we can definitely help you out with. That being said, I want to give everyone a heads up. If your transactions manager needs to talk to one of your team members, maybe the boss, maybe one of the acquisitions who's handling this, you guys can do that inside the record itself. You can just go to the chatter box over here, share an update, and you can go at whoever the acquisition or whoever you want to kind of tag over about this record about transactions. So maybe, hey Stephanie, may I know if we can close onto this property? And this is why I always hammer people to just install the Salesforce application over to your phone. It's both available over to your iPhone devices and to your Android devices. Because every time you do something like that, you will be notified. If you're logged in, of course, you will be notified to your You'll be notified over to your phone, just like how Facebook and Instagram notifies you when someone leaves a comment or tags you on a post. Just like that. And of course, over to the phone, you can respond back to her or her if you're Stephanie. See? They're gonna be very easy peasy. That being said, once you have your phone system and your SMS system available for you, unfortunately this is a dummy, you'll be able to see SMS box over here and you can just click that and send text message to this owner. Not only that, you can also just click over to the phone number and you can call her directly as well. So in terms of getting those seller info sheets or getting the mortgage info, those will be definitely easy to do. Now, of course, the goal for a transactions manager is to push the record from being a new contract over to closed one. But then again, you're going to be working hand in hand with your dispositions manager. So most likely, you want to push it over to maybe clear to close or clear to close wholesale, whatever you guys want to, however you guys want to use this path over. But let's say we're wholesaling this deal. I'm going to mark it over there. But of course, most likely, if my disposition will be wholesaling this, he or she should know or definitely know if all the documents are already in. That's why the contract, seller info sheet, any documents you guys have, you want to upload that inside files over here. It's either you add the files here, just like that, or you go to related over here and have a widget view and just go ahead and add the files over here. Okay? If you are using DocuSign, most likely if your acquisition been able to send the contract over DocuSign while it's in opportunity and the seller signs, everything goes automatic. So opportunity will be tagged over to contract signed, a transactions record will be created, and automatically the signed PDF copy will be installed or sorry, will be uploaded over files right here. Okay. Also, want to give a heads up, we have the notes over here. Most likely, this is where your lead intake important notes or your acquisitions important notes will always be in. So be mindful about this and make sure to read the notes that are available for you anytime and every time. As you guys can see, you can also send emails here, and all email conversations between you and the seller will always be available into your history down here. Okay. All right. So those are pretty much for your transactions manager. Now, that being said, though, if by any chance your transactions manager will be working with your buyers as well, per se, uploading or importing your buyers, that can be done here. But let's talk about that after we talk about dispositions. Okay. All right, so again, if you're a transactions manager, you check your task, you check your calendar, you go to transactions object, you want to change that to active transactions, change to the Kanban view, and push as many record from new contract up to whichever field or path, rather, it should be part of. Now, you may ask, Rain, why are there numbers up above? So you have a choice. Do you want the sum or total of the projected wholesale profit or maybe the contract prices for each of them? You guys can change that. You can just click over to the gear icon over here, Kanban settings, and from there, summarize by whichever you want to kind of use. And then again, everything here are changeable inside to the fields of this record. So whichever works for you can definitely be used over here. But on our end, we prefer project wholesale profit. There you go. All right, let's go ahead and talk about being a dispositions manager. If you're a dispositions manager, most likely going to be working the same way as a transactions manager. You want to check your task. You want to change the view from recently viewed to today's tasks. You want to pin that, and same process. And same with the calendar. You want to see if there's any closing assigned for the day or what have you, whatnot. And of course, over to transactions, you want to change the Kanban view, but you're not going to have it under active transactions. You want to change and have the path that would suit your your responsibilities. That's why you click over to the drop down and choose dispose status, and then from there it's showing you a table. So you want to change the display into a Kanban view, and you just want to pin that. I want to give you already a disclaimer. Do not worry, you don't have to do whatever I'm doing right now just to get the Kanban view on. The system would learn it along the way, so again, no worries about that. And as you can see up above, it's showing the right path for a dispositions manager. So you have none, pending underwriting, sent to VIP list, yada, 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 yada. So again, your goal is the same as the transactions, excuse me, transactions manager. You want to push as many record from none up to closed one over here. Now, please excuse the negatives right there. This is a dummy account. So most likely we're not been able to properly fill out the fields right here. But again, your goal is simple. From being none, you want to go ahead and underwrite it. Once you push it over here, you want to click onto the record and see where your transactions manager is at already. Oh, it's need dispo, this is decision. Let me go ahead and check onto the property. Now, this is where the opportunity kind of plays a big role. Most likely, you want to underwrite it and see if the offer of the acquisition specialist kind of gives justice to the contract price you have right here. So you want to check over to the opportunity, click over that, and there you go. Be able to see the after repair value information that was given by the acquisition specialist and the lead intake, and so on and so forth. Now, if you want to get back to that transactions record, you simply hover to the transactions over here and just click over to the record. Now, as you guys can see, there are three records right here because this has been converted multiple times. This can be done as well. Make sure that you only create one transactions record, and that's going to be another conversation just in case. But you do that whenever you push back the status or stage from being, let's say, negotiation to contract signed. Okay, moving forward, of course, there you go. So there are fields right here that is important for you. You have the disposition field right here. See, it's pending underwriting, black box code. Same situation with transactions. You can talk to your team through the chatter box. You can see the uploaded files inside files. Most investors use the notepad or the notes rather to paste or upload rather the link of the Google Drive of the photos, just in case it's something you guys need. Okay. Now, what's the biggest factor here for a dispo manager is to be able to, sell this home if this is something that you guys will be wholesaling. So most likely you're going to be sending it to your buyers list. Let's talk about how your buyers list will be available for you as a dispo manager in the system. Okay. You see over here the accounts and contacts. These are the two objects that you're going to be playing around to add your buyers in the record. Now, regardless if your buyer is per se from a company or just an independent individual buyer, the process will be the same. First things first, you want to go to the accounts. Over to the accounts, this is the database of all the contact information or personal information of everyone in your system, coming from your buyers, coming from your sellers, your homeowners, your vendors, your realtors. Everyone will have an account under their name. Either it is from their company's account or their own independent account. You want to click over to new right here. And then from there, you want to click buyer. The person account, by the way, serves as your homeowner. So every time that a leads is pushed over to the opportunity, when I give you a heads up, that is the time that the system automatically creates a person account or a homeowner account alongside with an opportunity account, which is where you attach any properties that that person will be selling in the future. So you can track also multiple houses being sold by a single seller. Moving forward, you want to click over to the buyers, as I said, click next, and right here, you just have to fill this out. So for the account name per se, this is an LLC group, LLC company. You can just put it right there. Or if this is a single independent buyer, you can just go rain lag over there. And then you can have the rating right here, hot, the phone number, for your started website, email. Scroll down. I believe there's going to be available market fields, market field rather over here, which you guys can change. And then of course, never forget to have a buyer rating. This is how you group your buyers, and this is also how you'll be able to send your wholesale deals later on. So say this is just a regular buyer, and then save it. Now, you are not done yet. Again, regardless if this is a company or a single independent buyer, the process is the same. You create an account, create a buyer account, and then inside the buyer account, you want to create a new contact. Click new. There you go, and click new buyer. Now, if this is an LLC, then this is how you add every members of that LLC. Member, buyer, LLC1. Let's say the last name is LLC1. There you go. home phone number. You can change the phone number here, whichever. But what's important is the buyer rating. Always have a buyer rating for them. Either it's in the accounts or contacts, the buyer rating should always be available, or else your buyers list would not be effective. Save that. There you go. Now, if this is a single independent account, same thing. You just have to add their contact inside again. Again, it has to be same process. And just like right here, let's say rain leg. And then same situation, just change the phone number, what have you, even the mobile number. I would suggest to always just have the number inside the mobile field. The mobile field most of the time talk to your SMS by default. So it will be a faster way to communicate. Also, we have the buyer rating right here, and then you want to attach it to a certain buyer rating and save. There you go. Now, Rain, where does contacts come to play? So now that you've been able to have a transactions record, most likely, and you've been able to underwrite it, you're ready to send it over to your buyers. And of course, you created a buyer through the account and creating contacts inside the account. Now you want to go to the contacts. This is how you send campaigns for your wholesales. Over to the filter right here, you want to have the filter view to the type of buyer where you want this campaign to be sent to. So let's say I have the regular buyers list. There you go. These are all the buyers under regular buyers list. I can just click over to the box right here, send list email. I can send text message as well and create my campaign under to the contact or content right rather over here. Now I want to give a heads up. You can save a template and have it, kind of look personalized. Even you're sending it to a bulk data. That's gonna be no worries. Hi. And then you can go like I am selling the property at 123 Main Street, etc. Now you can save this and use this in the future. It's up to you. But that being said, you can also add photos inclined in here to see how this 20 buyers would see this message. You can just go to review and see. Hi AC, hi AC, hi Adam, hi Adam, hey Adam Levinson and stuff like that. There you go. See, everything is personalized still, and you can send that. Once you've been able to send that, of course, they're going to reply with bids, with offers. Where does that go? Now, that is where your interested buyers comes to play, as well as transactions as well. So if ever AC White and AC Williams made an offer to a property that we have over the transaction. So first things that I'm going to do is if they respond back to your email, you're going to have the email response under their activity plus the email response over to your domain. So you're not going to miss whatever email response they had. If it's through a text message, then do not worry, you're going to be notified to it as well, and you'll be able to see it over there. Now, moving forward, if they made an offer, I can go to transactions. I already have the offer information, and then from there, I can just get to the property that they made an offer to. Let's say it's 123 Main Street over here. And then over here, you want to click over to related and add a um, there you go, interested buyers. New, and there you have it. So for the interested buyer's name, this is alphanumeric, changeable, editable. Maybe this is AC second buy or second purchase this month. AC second purchase. And then of course the contact will be the contact of AC in the system where she responded back or he responded back. You can just look for that, AC White, there you go. And then whatever offer he made, say $150,000. And let's say everything is cash. And you can have an offer notes right there, whichever, save it. And there you go. The offer will always be there. Now, let's say another person offered here. Let's say one of my account, Rain, made an offer. You can just go ahead and have another new right here. There you go. And have maybe Rain's first offer. So the interested buyer's name also kind of helps you out to whom you're going to sell the property for if the bid war is quite close to each other. So the rain lag is one of the offers. And let's say he offered $155,000. Offer type, cash. Sometimes it's worth to sell to a lower price if you can build a good business relationship. Offer notes and save it. There you go. You have the two offers right there. And so now you can just simply see whatever offers they've had and choose whoever you want to push it forward to, you know? So from there, you can just close one if you're a transactions manager. If you're a dispositions manager, if you already been able to choose one, you can just simply click over there and have it assign assign clear to close. And then from there, you can just click over to the record and directly message. Let me remove my face off from there. Directly message the seller, the winning bid over here. You can just go to the contacts, and there you go. You can just send a message once it's available here, or send an email like, "Hi, congratulations, you won the property for yada yada yada, what have you, whatnot," and it's gonna be always there. Now, if you want to look at, and you can send it, and you can just go back to the transactions again and kind of update whatever you need to update to who's going to be the buyer. Now, if you are looking for all the offers that was made over to your company, you can always go to interested buyers, have it under all, and make sure you're looking at split view. This is the preferred view over to interested buyers, and you can click over to every offers that had already happened, and see exactly where the offer is going to. See, transactions 1 to 3 Main Street. This one is 5468 Oxford, Middletown. I can click over there and I can see the property record and the transactions condition at the moment. There we go. So it's always going to be easy for dispositions to do their part in terms of selling the property and in terms of having a document or having a history of like the bids that you've had for this year from different buyers. Okay. All right, there you go. So if you're a dispositions manager, again, you're working closely to task and calendar, and of course, transactions for both dispo and transactions. And always make sure that you are looking at the property under dispo status. Now, that being said, you also want to make sure that you are under Kanban view. And as I always say, even for the dispo, you can change whatever number or sum that you have up above of this path by means of going to the gear icon, Kanban settings, and from there, summarize it by whichever you want to have. Let's say contract assignment price. There you go. Seems like you're spending a lot of money in buying properties. $4 million. That'll be really nice. All right. So, of course, talking about the buyer's account, you want to make sure that you do it in between accounts. I'm sorry, you're doing it using accounts and contacts all the time, and don't be shy. Use interested buyers. A quick recap of everything, of course. Again, there are 3 rooms that your leads are going to be living in for the rest of its lifetime until it becomes a contract from the moment it raised their hands. It raised their hand, rather. Um, it's going to be the lead object room. Answer the 3 major questions. Yes, I'm selling my home. This is an area looking to buy. And yes, I'll be more than happy to talk with your property specialist. Push it forward to the opportunity object room. Opportunity object room, being able to build good rapport, being able to have it under contract. And now it will trigger to create a transactions record. Over to transactions record, Dispo and active transactions or transactions manager can work hand in hand, talk together, talk with each other without even talking with each other by means of making sure that each of your records are sitting under the right path. And then, of course, you're going to create your buyers through the accounts and contacts. You're going to have your bidding war happen inside the transactions record and compiled inside interested buyers. And make sure that you're always looking at your tasks and calendar and make sure everything is cleared and up to date. All right, so that's technically your third onboarding. If there's something that's quite missing, you can always feel free to drop by to my Thursday webinars, or maybe go ahead and visit the training portal and just watch different videos right there. That will be very much helpful for you. Again, my name is Rain. You guys have a great day, and hopefully you learn the system and I get to meet you soon. Have a great day. Ciao.